What's up, everybody? Welcome into Week 16. We made it. We made it. The grind is about to come to an end. Championships will be won. They will also be lost. Hopefully more winning than losing. I am Mike Wright from the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Want to welcome you into the live stream. Come on in. Let's all tilt together. Huh? Let's start right at the top. It's Todd Gurley Tilt Day. It should be, what we got? December 23rd. Should be a national holiday for this Todd Gurley Tilt that's about to happen. So let's address that first. I don't know, man. I don't know. Here's the latest bit of news. The Rams have said they're expecting him to play. He's going to warm up. Assuming nothing goes wrong in that warm-up, there's no setback, then Todd Gurley is going to play. Does that mean that Todd Gurley gets his usual set of snaps? Does that mean C.J. Anderson is the savior for really deep leagues? I don't know. All I can tell you is how I would approach it. If I had Todd Gurley, I would be waiting to play him. I'm going down with Todd Gurley in my starting lineup, and because the news sounds far more positive than negative at this point, I'm going to wait on him. We had talked about on the podcast, guys like Mike Davis is probably your best backup option. Look, Mike, that's not a good option. You don't want to be playing Mike Davis in your championship week, but at least you'll get some points from him, barring a disaster for the afternoon games. But that's it. I mean, there's not a lot you can do with the Todd Gurley situation. Let's go through some other big news. Lamar Miller is out. If you were not following the fantasy football community, if you don't have the Sleeper app, shame on you because you get notified right away. Lamar Miller is out. Alfred Blue will be starting. Welcome to December, a.k.a. Alfred Blue gets a game of 20-plus touches. Because this is what he does every single year. This is what he does. I think that Alfred Blue becomes a pretty strong RB2 play. Deontay Foreman is expected to be active, but this is his first time being active since coming off of the Achilles tear. So I think that Alfred Blue's workload is pretty secure. Spencer Ware is out, so all the Damian Williams hopes and dreams, you can let that ride. Let that ride on old Damian Williams. Chris Ivory is out. Shady McCoy will be in. Should get a decent amount of volume. On to the wide receivers. The big news that we were struggling with throughout the week. DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, they are both in. T.Y. Hilton, he is in as well. And, of course, our man Juju, he tweeted out he can't let his fantasy football fans down. So he says he's going to play. That's very nice of him. Let's get to the questions. Well, that's a lot of Todd Gurley questions, so I'm going to have to figure that out. All right. Sabi says, are we really benching Joe Mixon for Marlon Mack? Whoo! I have Marlon Mack one spot ahead of Joe Mixon. The matchup is so good for Marlon Mack. That's really a difficult situation because the Cincinnati Bengals, their offense as a whole, it's not going to be good. I mean, Green has already been gone. Yeah, we know that. But Boyd is out. If you hadn't heard that, Boyd is not going to play in this game. Who do they got at wide receiver? Can you name two of them? You probably can't do it. John Ross. I'll give you John Ross. Fine, you get it. But that's who you're going to put your faith in, John Ross? And O'Driscoll looking for one big score? That's a problem for Joe Mixon. The volume will not be a problem, but the offense will be. Meanwhile, Marlon Mack and company should have no problem scoring against the New York Giants. Oh, my goodness. This is why it's tilt day, because I'm answering ridiculous questions like this. If it was my team, I honestly have I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Let me get in your head. I've got Marlon Mack. I've got Joe Mixon. It's week 16. I'm going to play Marlon Mack. I'm going to play Marlon Mack because I think he's the better play. I'm going to not worry about if Joe Mixon has a good game. He happens to have a good game because my process says Marlon Mack. Oh! I sounded like a horseman just now. Buffalo Bills says C.J. Anderson or Kalen Ballage. That one's easy. The wild magical ride that was the potential of C.J. Anderson throughout the week. That thing just, you just kept going up and up and up, and now you're free falling back down where C.J. Anderson probably belongs. Joseph wants to know, Drew Brees or Andrew Luck. I have Drew Brees currently as my quarterback 4, and Andrew Luck as number 3. I really like the Colts. I like Andrew Luck to bounce back in a really big way against this Giants defense. The other guys are not concerned in the slightest, Andy and Jason, about Drew Brees. He's at home. He's been absolutely incredible. I'm just concerned about Drew Brees versus that Pittsburgh defense, that it will be not as high scoring as people are hoping that it will be. Also, happy holidays, people. We should probably announce this since it's week 16. You're here. You made it. This is, in fact, the final live stream, the final Sunday live, I should say. We live stream. Who knows when we're going to live stream. This will be the final Sunday live of the season. If you are a week 17er, we won't be live streaming. However, all the matchups will be done. We're going to be here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday, really just a celebration. But Thursday and Friday, we will break down the matchups for you week 17ers. Oh, you sneaky snooks in your week 17 championships. Jim says flex Doug Baldwin or Jamal Williams. All right, that's a little bit tougher. You got to go across the positions. Jamal Williams is just such a, oh man, he's such a safe play this week. His volume should be great. The matchup, not my favorite thing in the world against the New York Jets as a running back. But good news, Aaron Rodgers says he's going to play. Thanks, Aaron. We were concerned about that. But who else? Capri Bibbs as the backup? Meanwhile, Doug Baldwin against the Chiefs. I'm going to take the volume. I'm going to take Jamal Williams. Next question. Oh, look. Hey, more Todd Gurley questions. All right. Oh, this one's from Rob. This one is tough. Are you going to flex Chris Carson, who I think that was Andy's start of the week at the running back position, currently sitting running back 5 for me. Woo! Running back 5. Looking for Chris Carson. I really like him this week. Or Amari Cooper, who I also like. He's taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's at home. He's right now my wide receiver 8. This is interesting because these are two players that I don't think I would normally comp this way, but this is ceiling floor. I think Chris Carson is safer. He's going to end up he should not fall beneath the threshold of about 7 points, I would think. Meanwhile, Amari Cooper's ceiling is much higher, as we've seen. What was it, 203? Absolutely ridiculousness. But this past week, you've also seen that Amari Cooper is not invincible, but he's at home. He is at home, so if you're going for that the upside play, I would go with Amari Cooper. Eric says, the Bears. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate that one. Hey, let's follow that up with Sean, who says, go Bears. What is happening in here, Brooks? We are being invaded by Chicago Bear fans. Yeah, just ask us something. Like this guy, JG's, who says Broncos are Bears defense. The Bears. Come on. You're not riding the Chicago Bears all year and then getting a championship week and getting shaky knees about playing someone else. Play the Chicago Bears. Here we go. I like this one. James says Jalen Samuels or Damian Williams in a PPR. Woo! That's a really, really tough question because clearly Damian Williams is the backup to the backup, but he had some juice. He had some juice this past weekend. He'll catch some passes as well. They both will. That's so the PPR situation, I don't think anyone gets a huge advantage over the other player. People are scared of the Saints' running defense for Jalen Samuels, and I understand that. But when there's a two-dimensional running back like Jalen Samuels, they're still giving up a lot of points because you can't stop everything. They're the Saints. They're great. I get it. You can't stop everything. Brooks, these questions are really, really hard today. Really, really hard. Damian Williams or Jalen Samuels?
If you have a gut feeling on that one, you got to go with that.
I totally agree with
that.
I mean, because
they're both great options.
Damian Williams currently sitting a little bit higher than Jalen Samuels for me, but the burning, maybe it's indigestion, I don't know, but that burning inside me tells me it's Jalen Samuels. Oh, I don't want to do this job on week 16 because people are going to be so mad at me. Hey, we're all friends here. You can't be mad at me. That's the rules.
And it's your choice.
Thanks, Brooks. Avoid all responsibility, yet steal all the glory when it goes right. That's the Fantasy Hitman way. Look, man, I'm going to play Damian Williams. I'm going to stick with my rankings on that one because it's so close. Go with the week-long process. All right. Peter says Mahomes or Mahomes. I like that kind of a question. Mahomes. All right. Justin says Matt Breida or Alfred Blue. Oh, man. So Matt Breida is officially active. And he is taking on the Chicago Bears. I would play Alfred Blue. I would take the volume. I honestly think that Alfred Blue will get – I joked about it because he's done it every year of his life. But Alfred Blue in December finds a way to get a game and gets 20 touches. I would rather have my running back in a high-powered offense against the Philadelphia Eagles than a team with currently sitting with, I think, the third or fourth overall pick, taking on the Chicago Bears. And is Matt Breida, he just gets hurt all the time? I'm taking Alfred Blue. Yeah, I feel good about that one, Brooks. Would you play Alfred Blue, Brooks?
Yeah.
Tell me you'd play Alfred Blue. Thank you.
Yes, Mike.
Oh, man, if Andy was here, he would be so just enraged. He hates Alfred Blue. He hates him. And he's going to be real sad when Alfred Blue wins people championships because I think he's going to. All right. Oh, psychotic. I got it. I read through your misspelling of the word, or I don't know, elite spelling. I mean, there's no numbers in it, but it's cool. It's psychotic with an S. All right, here we are. Sony Michel or Kalen Ballage in a full-point PPR. I'm as willing as the next guy to hit the tables at the Bellagio this particular weekend, but not over Sony Michel. It's funny because everything is against Sony Michel this week. Everything. Lower touches since Rex Burkhead has been out. Lower snaps every single week. Playing the Buffalo Bills, who have a dominant defense really against every position, especially the running back. Meanwhile, Kalen Ballage has juice, has a nice juicy matchup against the Jags, but he's got a butthole for a head coach, so we don't know for sure that Kalen Ballage is going to be the guy. I would just take the lumps here and play Sony Michel because I would rather go with the first-round pick. That one's tough. They're all tough. Hey, we've reached about the halfway point of the final Sunday Live of the season. Thank you so much. Everyone that's joined us for every single week and you've made it this far. Thank you so much for putting your trust in us, just having fun, hanging out with me and Brooks. It's always a good time here on Sunday morning. Shout out to baby Josh if you're watching this back home. What's up, buddy? But really, really appreciate everyone stopping in here, taking the time. I know there's a lot of places you could be right now. There's a lot of football people talking, and you're here with me, so thank you. Real quick, if you want to check out footclanvote.com, we got to finish strong. Look, I'm tired of voting for myself. I mean, that's bad. When you're tired of voting for yourself, I still do it. But help us out, Foot Clan Vote, just once a day. And as the season comes to a close, the fantasy footballers, we stick around. We still give you 2 episodes every single week. But at jointhefoot.com, help and support the independent podcast that we are. You can get an extra episode every single week. And during the off season, those episodes are fantastic. It gets way loose, gets really, really fun. People ask absolute ridiculous questions, fun questions, personal questions. And, of course, we're going to be right into Dynasty season. If you want to hear us talk about Dynasty a lot, you're in control of the mailbag, the Footcast over on jointhefoot.com. So please check those 2 out. Join the Foot and footclanvote.com. Back to the questions. Brooks, do you have any questions about your championship matchup? Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen did not really come through for you last night.
Nah.
No, they did not. Well, Rivers was okay. Rivers was all right.
Nah.
No?
No. False. But my other options were not great, so I had to stick with them.
Poor Brooksy. All right. This is from Josh. He said, stay down, microphone stand. Josh says, happy holidays, Mike. I'm trying to win my first #FootClan title PPR. Kalen Ballage, Darren Sproles, or Peyton Barber. Ooh. So Sproles is out for me. I know that you would think he's the PPR guy, but I'm not trusting enough work for Darren Sproles to come through. Kalen Ballage or Peyton Barber. Barber has that gross matchup against Dallas, but he has managed to come through in a few suboptimal situations.
And it was just one game, but Mac Attack lit Dallas up last week.
Yeah, Marlon Mack did light up Dallas this past week. Oh, man. I'm going to go with Kalen Ballage. I'm going to go that direction. It's the end of the season. I think the Dolphins, they're still in. They're technically in the hunt, but I think they've got that weird thing where they got one foot into next season and the other foot is still here. So I believe they're going to try and find out what they have in Kalen Ballage. So I'm going to play him over Peyton Barber. That's real close, but just a couple spots ahead, I have Kalen Ballage. Craig, it's a PPR, and he says Evan Engram or Jalen Samuels. This must be a Yahoo League. You lucky dog. Get to play Jalen Samuels in the tight end position. I mean, this question really comes down to who are your other running back options, because let's say you get that cool bump of Jalen Samuels, the running back, the full-time Pittsburgh Steelers running back in your tight end spot, but then your backup running back, all of a sudden you're playing Jeff Wilson or Kenyon Drake or Jalen Richard. Like, if you have an absolute stink fest of a backup running back, then I would rather play Evan Engram in the tight end spot and then play Jalen Samuels as my running back. If that's not even a question and it's just a heads up, I'm going to go with Jalen Samuels. Absolutely. Next question. Drew, Doug Baldwin, or Hot Rocket? Oof. All right. At home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, oh man, Shevitz. Goodness. Okay, I'm trying to put myself in your position here because this is a really tough question. Doug Baldwin, who's he's got like one good game on the year, Brooks? One good game for Doug Baldwin?
He's got a couple.
But all right.
That really good one was last week.
Jason likes him. He called him the start of the week. But I'm going to go with my process all week has led me that Tyler Lockett is the better play. I have him ahead by 4 spots or so from Doug Baldwin. I'm going to go with the the man that destroys math. Hot like it. I don't know why I got so intense there, but I did. Andrew says PPR, Ingram versus Sony Michel. Because it's the PPR, I'm going to go with Mark Ingram. I'm going to get that nice bonus from 2 to 3 receptions, pad that floor. I think that'll be a little bit safer than Sony Michel. Spencer says, ooh, Spencer. Robbie Anderson, great play, great matchup. Or Stephon Diggs in a PPR. Stephon Diggs should expect a Christmas delight of riding with Slay all evening. And I'm talking about Darius Slay, cornerback from the Detroit Lions. I would expect he will be the one who is shadowing Stephon Diggs, which I do not like, but I'm going to play Stephon Diggs. I can't possibly take those variables into consideration and play Robbie Anderson over Stephon Diggs. I see the Santa hat jiggling back there, Brooks. You're with me. You got to stick with Stephon Diggs in this one. Oof. All right. Oh, great, Ian. Thank you, Ian, for this question, who says it's PPR, $1,400 on the line, Cohen or Damian Williams. I could have ignored this question, Ian, when you wrote in how much money is on the line and how much you're trying to blame me, but we're going to get it right. It's Damian Williams. Lock it. Also, if it's correct, please consider jointhefoot.com. Because I know you got the money, Mr. Man. Good luck with that one. That is going to be a nice sweat for you throughout the day. Oh, that'll be a fun sweat. Hector says, George Kittle or Jalen Samuels. I'm going to go with the exact same answer I gave about Evan Ingram. Depends on your other running back option. If it's just heads up, tight end versus tight end, I'm going to play Jalen Samuels. George Kittle's got Chicago. I would rather play Jalen Samuels, who is going to be on the field a ton. Jalen Samuels. I don't need to discuss it anymore. Daniel Diaz, Big Ben or Deshaun Watson. That's my nightmare. This is my nightmare, Brooks. Is somebody versus Big Ben, because I have Big Ben 2 spots higher. Deshaun Watson's number one weapon, DeAndre Hopkins, is going to play, but if you watch the warm-up video, I mean, he's not 100. He's not 100% healthy. And it's Big Ben on the road, man. It should be great. Big Ben has been pretty spectacular throughout this entire season. I'm going to play Ben. I'm going to play Big Ben. Brooks, I need a second opinion to weigh in on that one.
Big Ben.
You would go with Big Ben as well?
Yep, I have both in a league, and I'm going with Big Ben.
And you're making that well, there you go.
So,
join Brooks. Join the judge.
if it's wrong,
I
accept.
Right, if it's wrong, it's my fault. Oh, man. Good times. Good times.
Almost wrap it around, Mike.
Oh, it's almost time for Rapid Round.
Let's do it.
All right, thank you for the reminder, Brooks. So before we jump into Rapid Round and close this thing out, once again, footclanvote.com once a day. It's real fast. We appreciate greatly. We cannot wait to report back in January, hopefully with that iHeartRadio trophy in hand. It would be a very special moment for this show. Thank you for your support there. Jointhefoot.com. Let's keep this train rolling. I mean, let's be the Snowpiercer, right? That train never stops. You like that reference, Brooks? You don't know Snowpiercer?
Nah.
Oh, goodness. There's 3 people in this live stream that are very happy right now with that reference. It's what I'm here to do. Whew. All right. Let me get a drink of water. Here we go. Kenneth wants to know, it's Beanie Week, 100%. Always Beanie Week in the winter when I can. Doug Baldwin or Robbie Anderson? I would play Robbie Anderson. Preston says Didi, Hogan, or Blue. That one's easy for me personally. I'm going to go with Alfred Blue. Marco, Burita, Balaj, Fournette. Pick 2 in standard. This is a slight pause from the wraparound. The Jacksonville Jaguars have made T.J. Yeldon a healthy scratch. And from the sound of it, they're being nice to T.J. Yeldon. Their season is done. T.J. Yeldon is a free agent next season. So I think they are rewarding the players, saying, we're not going to put you out there. We're not going to risk injury as you head into trying to make that money. So shout out to the Jaguars for doing right by T.J. Yeldon and letting him head into his free agency healthy. That also moves the baseline up for Leonard Fournette. If he's going to catch a few more passes, he becomes exciting. So Fournette is in there for sure. Then between Burita and Balaj, I'm very happy with this because I wanted to say Balaj, and in fact, he is one spot higher in my rankings, so that's the way that I'm going to go. Brody says Jalen Samuels or Todd Gurley. I would play Todd Gurley. New Orleans is a morning game, though. Am I right here? Let me make sure. Brooks, help me out.
No, that's actually a 4:25
Oh, they're an afternoon game. Okay.
Eastern.
Then you don't have to worry about that situation. I'm going to go with Todd Gurley, assuming that he is active. Reaper wants to know Philip Lindsay or Damian Williams, por favor. That's tough, but I'm going to go with Philip Lindsay. I'm going to ignore the past 2 weeks. He gets to play the Oakland Raiders. I'm going to go with Philip Lindsay. Jalen Samuels or Eric Ebron, same answer I've been giving before. If it's even head-to-head, though. It's funny that we creeped up. We went Evan Engram to Sua, not – wow, I almost called him Selleck. I apologize, George Kittle. I apologize for that. Another tier, and now we're up another tier again with Eric Ebron. I still would prefer to play Jalen Samuels in my tight end slot. Louis Posada says Jamal Williams or Leonard Fournette. That's going to be Leonard Fournette. Oh, Salvador. Williams versus Williams crime. Jamal or Damian. I'm going to go with the one who's actually sort of fast and on a really high-powered offense. If you weren't sure who I meant, that's Damian Williams. Brent says Amari Cooper or Julian Edelman in a PPR. I think that Jules and his magnificent beard are a bit safer. However, I'm not being safe right now. I woke up feeling dangerous. Me and Baker. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper. Mike says happy holidays. Alfred Blue or Dante Pettis. Oh, Dante Pettis versus the Chicago Bears. This is going to be interesting. If Dante Pettis can have success today against the Chicago Bears, I believe that will be an actual tipping point for the young man heading into next year's fantasy drafts. But I'm going to play Alfred Blue. I'm going to take the volume of the running back position. Kevin, McGuire, Elijah McGuire or Ingram, non-PPR. Ingram, the Ingram bugaboo, man. Me and Ingram are going to have a weird relationship for the rest of my life after last week's debacle. Steven says, Gurley or Chris Carson. Oh, wow. This one has halted me dead in my tracks of the rapid round. Todd Gurley. I like Chris Carson so much, but I'm going to play Todd Gurley. Josh, with just a big thank you. Hey, thank you for watching, Josh. Really appreciate it. Jason, standard. Balaj or Alfred Blue. Oh, man. I would play Alfred Blue. And that one actually makes me sad to say it. I would play Alfred Blue right there. Just a couple more questions before we wrap it up. Victor, is it going to ride the wild Josh Stallion or Nick Foles? Come on, man. Excellent. Josh Stallion. Let's go, Nick Foles. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm going to lose with the really good quarterback, Josh Allen. Oh, okay. Matt Robinson says Juju or Robert Woods. Assuming that Juju is a play, you got to go with him. Juju on the road has been absolute fire. So I like Juju in this matchup. Oh, my goodness, we're over time, but it doesn't matter. Omar, C.J. Anderson or Burita standard? Come on now. Matt Burita. Gronk or Ingram? I would play Ingram. Wow. Brooks, would you play Ingram over Gronk?
Yeah.
His stats against the Bills are great. He's at home. I would play Evan Ingram. Gronk. Bro. Let's do a couple more, though. I'm not ending that. I'm not ending the live stream on that note with my self-pity reflection of Rob Gronkowski's season of what was not. Okay, Nick wants to know Fournette or Ingram. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. Chris says Robbie Anderson or Hot Lockett needs upside. I actually think that Robbie Anderson's total upside is higher than Hot Lockett's this particular weekend, so that's how you're going to roll. Okay, just a couple more questions. I know we're trying to get to them all, but that's impossible. Wilson or Breeze? I would play Russell Wilson. This one's going to be for Brooks. Juju or Marlon Mack? Juju or Marlon Mack? Brooks, Chris needs your help.
Mack attack.
It's going with Marlon Mack.
Volume.
I would go with Marlon Mack as well. The BK Show wants to know Dede Westbrook or Robert Foster. I'm going to stay in those flames with Robert Foster. Randy, Deshaun Watson or Mitch Trubisky? I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson. I like Mitch Trubisky a lot this weekend, but I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson. Oh, and this just going to wrap up the 2018 season that it is. Brian's in his championship week, and he needs Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Dede Westbrook. Yes, this is where we are. I'm going to play Dede. Randall Cobb is out for the Green Bay Packers, so I understand you wanting to lean back into Marquez. I'm going to play Dede. There it is, Foot Clan. Good luck. I sincerely wish the best of luck to all of you. Brooks, good luck to you versus Jason.
Thank you.
He had to throw the microphone back on. I will see you next season for the live streams for Sunday Live, but the Fantasy Footballers Podcast, we are not going anywhere. Good luck, everyone. I hope this Christmas is merry for you. And never forget you, Brooks, even you. You're beautiful. Mwah. Goodbye, everybody.